Hey there, this is Molly. Welcome back to my YouTube channel as we take a look at the Sagittarius solar eclipse happening on December 14th, 2020 at 11:17 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So what we're going to do in this video is take a look at the chart, talk it through, and look at what you want to be aware of in your own chart. So we start with the sun and the moon here together at 23 degrees of Sag. So locate that in your natal chart as that's the point of new creation. The sun and the moon are together and they are ready to set a new intention. In Sagittarius, this is the energy of moving forward, the next call of your soul, something bigger, something higher, something that you're feeling inspired to follow. Now, Sagittarius is often very positive and uplifting, but we do have to keep in mind that there can be exaggeration. There can be things that are extended. There can be too much of a good thing. But this energy, it really has the sense of bursting us into a new direction, seeing something from a higher vantage point, and allowing ourselves to take action on what we've been working on and how we have formed new belief systems. And in fact, that could be a very strong intention for this solar eclipse, are the new intentions that you're ready to set at 23 degrees of Sagittarius in your chart, and to trust that it's okay as well to release, to let go of what no longer fortifies you, what is no longer your truth. Now, the letting go is important to understand because we have the south node at 19 degrees of Sag. Now, it's not on this chart, but here's the north node at 19 degrees of Gemini, meaning the south node is here at 19 degrees of Sagittarius, conjunct Mercury. And this is a letting go of what we thought was true, what we thought was going to serve us, and in fact, it probably has. There is something that is deeply transitioning within us as the South Node moves through Sagittarius and we let go of what no longer resonates and what we don't want to take forward. So this is an interesting solar eclipse because a solar eclipse is a new moon. So it has a new start, a new energy, a new focus, but it's overlapped by this letting go. So there's replacement energies coming in. If you've really been working through some deeper things this year, some deeper belief systems, some deeper parts of yourself that were perhaps limiting or false, that were perhaps no longer what you want to have in your life, this is going to show you the new potentials that are available based on what you're ready to look at and reframe in a new way. So we have strong Sagittarius energy here asking us to go forward, to take inspired beginnings, to follow what is true for you now, and to allow new energies to come forward. Almost like if there's things you've been exfoliating, letting go of, there's been removals, now the energy comes in. Now there's some new arrivals of what you've been learning. What you've been learning at a soul level, and where to consciously place your energy going forward. Now, these three planets are all being strengthened and energized by Mars, who's here at 20 degrees of Aries. The courage, the desire, independence, movement. There is a surge here of it's time. There's energy coming through that wants to help you end 2020 with some inspiration, with an understanding of what you really want in your life next, and to be aware of how you can move forward even when we still have these responsibilities that we're working on and working through. So the ruler of Sagittarius is Jupiter, who's right there at 28 degrees of Capricorn, nearly 29 degrees, a critical degree point, an ending and completion energy. You can see that Jupiter is still conjunct Saturn, and in fact, they will be conjunct the rest of the month for a few weeks as they both will travel into Aquarius together. But here they are completing some really big energies in your life. This is when we have matured greatly through these Capricorn energies. We've had reality checks. We've had our real world changed. We've had understandings from a higher level of perhaps what you've participated in, your responsibilities, your obligations. And all of that brings up also the consequences. And that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. But when you say yes to something and you have to see it through, it has limitations to other choices you can make. So as Jupiter and Saturn are at this 29 degrees of Capricorn, there is an understanding here of where you've changed permanently throughout this year, what you've mastered, and perhaps even the karma that you had to resolve, what you had to work through, things that have taken time. And it could have felt excruciating. It could have felt like the slowest moving train ever. And this is the thoroughness of Capricorn. This is not wanting to miss anything. And this is also where you're ensuring that energies are truly complete. So I feel like this is a very interesting energy signature because we have the forward moving fire energies that want us to go. There's still something lingering with the Capricorn energies of you're not quite done with something. There's still final pieces that need to be tied up. And so the energy of the solar eclipse is that you're meant to keep your eyes on a bigger direction, a new direction, a higher path. And as both Saturn and Jupiter move into Aquarius, they then have new solutions to this new dream. So this new dream and the call of the soul, the direction, the next path that you are wanting to commit to also has a maturity to it. Capricorn energy is saying, you've earned this. There's a graduation here. There's a mastery here. It's been hard earned. It's required a lot of work. The Capricorn energies can require us to do things on our own that can even make it feel more difficult or discouraging at times. But there's always rewards for that, and it comes through new levels of self-respect, personal integrity, the results, the achievements of what you have committed to, how you've continued to show up for yourself, how you have shown up for yourself. And then as we move into the second half of December, the energy becomes even more electric. And it has a sense of movement, again, new possibilities, new choices. And there is something around the step-by-step process of this year is bringing together, it's like I'm seeing a puzzle. It's bringing together a new vision, a new visual of what you're going to move into the new year with. And it feels like we haven't been able to go any faster because there's been very intentional work that's needed to be completed. But this is an energetic solar eclipse that does support movement. Now, this Mars, you can see at 20 degrees of Aries, is approaching the third and final square to Pluto, and that will happen as well in the second half of December. The third and final means that this Mars has been definitely and permanently changed by Pluto. Pluto being the stronger energy, and Pluto transforming every planet it interacts with. And this has been against Mars's will, where Mars really wants to do things his own way, and he's been pissed off that he can't. He has to toe the line. He has to restrain himself. But there's a maturity developing, also a realignment here with this Mars in Aries that's also bringing us into greater awareness of what we want and where we're going. But it couldn't happen too fast, which can be the frustration when we want immediate gratification or clear results. That's not the case. That hasn't been the case. There's been a sense of having to just go a little bit slower to pace ourselves. Now, the other square that's prominent in this chart is from this Neptune. And Neptune is at 18 degrees of Pisces and is actually squaring the planets in Sag, as well as squaring the North Node and the South Node. And this can be wondering what to trust, wondering what you can believe in, questioning what is truth. And Neptune in Pisces is the removal of ego, removal of attachment, removal to our earthly senses, and asks us to go higher. So as Neptune squares the 3 planets in Sagittarius, it's a lingering square because actually the exact square to the sun would have been 5 days before the solar eclipse. So there's something lingering around what to believe in, what we can trust, and even maybe feeling like our faith isn't totally strong just yet. Understandably, there's been a lot about 2020 that has shaken us, that's been destabilizing or brought up a lot of things. And there's a part of us that wants something clear to, I'm going to say latch onto, but to believe in. And what I feel we're being asked to do here is to not give up on the bigger dream. Don't give up on what is true for you now, even if it's taking a little bit to stabilize it. Don't give up on what you want for the long term. Don't give up on where your life can go next. Even if it feels wobbly and there is some uncertainty, this is where you just stay open, even more open to the next areas that can come forward and surprise you, delight you, be that unexpected twist of, oh, I never realized that would happen or that would be a choice. When we are too locked into our human experience, we can be shutting down those deeper nudges, whispers, urges. And it feels like this solar eclipse is supporting us in letting go of those limiting energies in our belief systems. And what I mean by that is what you thought was true for your life, the only things you thought were possible. There's a clearing away of those ideals or those potentials that have served their purpose. And now it can be like that in between of, well, I have an idea of what I want next, and I know where I want to go, and I believe it's possible, but it doesn't feel quite certain yet. It's going to feel certain over the next few weeks as the energy grows, and as we literally have fresh air, fresh breath of air with Saturn and Jupiter moving into Aquarius, which is a very exciting energy. So there is something of a paradox here where you have a vision, an idea, maybe it's not clear exactly how, but you have the energy to move it. And then there's this potentially a wobble of faith or trust, a sense of, what do I do if this doesn't happen? And it's interesting because I feel like there's going to be clear choices, higher choices, better choices that will present themselves and match the new energetic frequency of what you believe for yourself now. So there's this realignment and reframing of what is possible in your life. And the Sagittarius solar eclipse also blasts us with what is no longer true. And this doesn't inspire me anymore. This doesn't uplift me anymore. I'm not drawn to this anymore. It's the turnover energies. It's a turnover of one vision or one direction into another one. And it also brings in the next adventure. So the turnover of energies, the overlap of energies, there's also an understanding of how much you've changed, how much you've grown, and what is truly resonating now that you really want to follow. This energy will also last into January because it's an eclipse and it's a new moon. So it lasts for the full lunar cycle, which will be until the Capricorn new moon in January 2021. So I feel like there can be downloads here of the next dream, the new path, the new direction, even if there's still some uncertainty. And this is where we practice being detached and just being open to the adventure of it all. New beginnings happen with the solar eclipse, but because it's working with the south node, that's where there's this turnover of energy that I've been talking about, where you're letting go of one thing and then calling in that next part of your life, that next part of your world. Wherever this 23 degrees is in your chart is where you're calling forward new parts of your soul's energy to assist you going forward, to assist and guide you, and to also honor you and how much this year has revealed and brought up, how much has shifted and been transformed. It's that energy of, well, when there's a vacuum, the universe fills it. And that's what's happening here with this solar eclipse. So I hope this has given you some really good things to think about. And I now have available for you all of the main astrology of 2021 through 4 individual webinars that take you through what is happening throughout the year, including the upcoming eclipse cycles in 2021, including the retrogrades of Mercury and Venus, and then we go through all the energy of Mars. There's a lot of big Mars energy in January 2021. And then it's interesting how the year continues to unfold. So check out those details below this video, but that's how you can get the scoop on what's happening for you personally in 2021 as you follow along with all these planets and what they're doing. So you can find out more below the video. And as always, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate your shares, likes, comments, subscribes, and I hope this has given you some good insights into how to work with the energies in the middle of December as we close out a very big year. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll be back here soon.